YouTube, what's up? mmaninjitsu here, using my dad's webcam, which is built into his computer. So, while I can't have my little signature check flag everywhere, whatever, I get better quality, so I decided to do it like this. And I can't skip around, so it's not good. Anyway, and unfortunately I can't figure out how to get the Vista version of Movie Maker to connect with the laptop's built-in webcam. Let's get started. Now, as the video suggests, actually we're a few hours away from Croatia versus Mir pay-per-view. So there are really four events that I feel like mentioning. That's Matt Serra versus Chris Lytle, Sean Shark versus Evan Dunham, Little Nog versus Ryan Bader, and Mirko versus Frank Mir. Now the ironic thing is that I have a younger brother named Evan, and well, here, Evan Dunham and Ryan Bader in the same card. They're both, and hold up, let me check the age difference. I do know that they are both 11-0, so that's another ironic thing. Okay, well, Evan Dunham is a year older, and I'm 2 years older in real life, so that's weird. But anyway, let's get started. So let's look at each of the fighters first, since I'm probably going to have to separate them into four parts. Matt Serra, Chris Lytle. Now, look at what Chris Lytle has done. He was on one of the first few Ultimate Fighters, and he was on there. So, and when you look at it, he has both a pretty decent boxing record and tons of experience in mixed martial arts. He's 29, 17, and 5. Now, from what I can see, Matt Serra beat it. Oh yeah, that's right, I remember watching that. This is a revenge match for Chris Lytle. Because years and years ago, or I guess it wasn't that long ago, but he lost to him in a pay-per-view, or when a pay-per-view was a finale, but nonetheless, Chris Lytle lost. Now let's look at notable guys he's fought and notable guys he's beaten. Notable guys he's fought: Car Parisian, Matt Serra, who he lost to, Matt Hughes, Matt, 2 in a row, Thiago Alves, Josh Koscheck, Marcus Davis. Okay, now pretty much everyone I just mentioned, he lost to. So, Car Parisian, he lost to. Let's see who's the notable guys that I can see that he's beaten. Are you serious? Okay, well, looks like from what I can see, no notable guys beaten. Notable guys fought, but not beaten. Matt Serra, the submission artist who actually knocked out GSP, or I guess it was a TKO, but he beat GSP. Now, he as well made his debut for UFC, from what I know, or debut on actually being known against everyone else on The Ultimate Fighter Season 4. Now, for a rundown of what Season 4 was, it was called The Comeback. And these were UFC fighters that had all of these different fights, most of them anyway, but they weren't that well known, so this was their chance, instead of to get a contract to the UFC, to get 100,000 bucks and a title shot. And Matt Serra ended up not only winning that competition, but fighting and beating GSP, and he actually got the title, to many people's disbelief. The next time he fought GSP, a year and a couple days later, he lost, but then he proceeded to lose to Matt Hughes, defeat Frank Trigg, and now 10 pay-per-views after the Trigg fight, he's fighting Chris Lytle. Now, from what I see, Chris Lytle has so much more experience. Sarah, on the other hand, has a lot more victories over better guys. These victories. Well, let's talk about the notable guys he fought. Shoney Carter, I don't even need to tell you why he's notable. BJ Penn, same. Parisian, same. GSP twice, Matt Hughes, and Frank Trigg. So, that's his professional career, because Ultimate Fighter is exhibition, so that they don't have to post the results on the record and people know who won and who didn't. But okay, so out of those, and I guess Yves Edwards would be notable too. Now let's look at who those guys has beaten. He beat GSP, he beat Frank Drake, he beat Chris Lytle, and he beat Yves Edwards. So right now he's 11-6. So while not as many matches as Lytle, this is a jiu-jitsu guy that beat GSP on stand-up. And I mean, that's saying something. Because while GSP is known for a ground fighter, he still has a really great ability for kickboxing. And just after watching Matt Serra on The Ultimate Fighter and seeing what a great guy he is, I don't just think he's gonna win, I want him to win. So I'm gonna say Matt Serra by submission. I don't do times anymore because, I mean, it's retarded. There are not many people who can get 3 out of 3 on the exact time. I'm just gonna say Serra by submission. So it's just, I'll explain it later. Next up, Evan Dunham versus Sean Shirk. Now Sean Shirk is 37, meaning your official prime is 19 to 36. So he's 1 year out of his prime. Now let's look at this. 2-0 in his amateur career. 38 total fights in his professional mixed martial arts career. He has been the lightweight champion, however was accused of taking steroids. Now, let's look at a list of notable guys that he's beaten. Caro Parisian, Manvel Gumburian, who is Caro's cousin, and hopefully soon the WEC champ. He's fought Matt Hughes but lost. Lost to GSP, beat Nick Diaz. Beat Kenny Florian, lost to BJ Penn, beat Tyson Griffin, lost to Frank Geiger, and now is fighting Evan Dunham. Now, I'm not going to say anything about the steroid accusation, but his wins, Ramis Francis, just a list of champions of who he's fought and all this, a list of champions in the lighter weight classes. Let's go over and look at Evan Dunham. So I keep doing that with my nose. I have a weird problem with it. Evan 3D Dunham. He trains at Extreme Couture and he is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. 11-0, as I said. Now, he really proved skeptics wrong at UFC 115, which was Chickadell versus Franklin, when he beat Tyson Griffin. Huh? Yeah, it has been that long since 115. That was June 12th and September 25th. That was your first pay-per-view? I guess so. Anyway, so you look at who he's beaten and all this, Efrain Escardo, who was an Ultimate Fighter season winner, and that was a Maynard versus Diaz fight night, which I'm so glad Maynard won. God, I hate the Diaz brothers. Hate them so much. I can't wait to see GSP smash their face in, but I think Nate Diaz is gonna either fight GSP or Frank Edgar. Either way, I hope he loses. I just hate those guys. But okay, he's fought Tyson Griffin, Efren Escardo. Those are the two guys that it's notable. I can see that he's fought. However, he beat two out of two. So, I mean, let's look at it. He trains with Randy Couture. He's a good ground fighter, and from what I know, he has a decent set of hands to go with it. Sean Shirk is no less than what it says, the martial shark. And from a jiu-jitsu's guy's guard, let's just give a good example. Let me find it. Was it? It was either GSP or BJPen, but in the greatest of jiu-jitsu black belts guards, he just sits there and he throws those little short elbows. Now, it is so strange because his arm is so little, like lengthwise, it's hard to armbar him. And those little short elbows do so much damage, and they're so quick. But at the same time, that all that muscle fiber that he's able to put into it, it just really messes guys up. And so, I'm gonna just have to say, due to experience, uh, Sean Shirk, but I think Evan Dunham is going to be able to hold out for a while and not get like completely knocked out. I'm gonna say Shirk by TKO. We're gonna bring this into a part 2.